Hey guys, Sarah here. Welcome to my channel. Actually wasn't planning on filming a video today. I think I would have done this at some point, but I'm working from home today and I've had a super stressful work day, and I've got to go pick up my kids in a couple of hours. And I thought, why not just take 15 minutes? And I actually have in my place that I moved into last year, like it's not a bedroom, it's like a little nook. And I have wanted to set it up as like a study workplace forever. And instead it's just been like a dumping ground for like the miscellaneous stuff that my brain can't work out. But I cleaned it up over the weekend and I thought I might try and see what it's like to actually film in here. Biggest difference, I guess, is there aren't any windows in this room, so trying a mixture of different actual overhead lights. And I'll see what I can do when I edit it, but if that's a bother, let me know, because I'm happy to shift back out to my dinner table where there's a lot more light. It's actually a really nice space. I've got some books and I don't have like my ink and stuff out. I'm also thinking about little hands. Maybe I'll do a bit of a quick, maybe I'll put in here like a video of what it looks like, because I think I can see this becoming a place that I just really love to spend time in. But I wanted to, sorry, that was loud, film a video about, I'm going to keep this here so I actually do drink it. My thoughts around pens for the year. Today's Monday when I'm filming this, and on the weekend I was at my partner's house and I just woke up early and I was like, I'm enjoying filming again, I'm enjoying creating again and all of that, and then actually wanting to be quite conscious of like, what does this hobby and this content, quote unquote, mean to me, and how do I make it sustainable? And I just spent some time thinking to myself, and it was a really nice experience, and I thought maybe I'll just film it and not schedule it but just put it out there, because I don't know if I sat with it for a bit, would I ever actually post it? Because I made it quite personal, I guess. So I thought I'd just go through it. This is still just in the Any Day Now notebook. Look, I still wish the paper was white. It is fountain pen friendly, and I'm embracing that there's going to be a mixture of things in this notebook. And I'm almost halfway and I can hear my work computer going bonkers in the background. So hopefully you don't hear that. Oh my God, what is it with Mondays? What's today? Monday the 19th of January. The world has very much woken up. So I'm going to tangent like on like YouTube Studio, and you can see like the average watch length of your videos. And when some of them are like, most people stop after like, I don't know, 7 minutes or whatever. I'm like, is that because I just ramble about pointless stuff? And people like, I thought this was actually supposed to be about ink or pens. The two pens I used, I inked up my Conway Stewart Dinky, I love this pen, and my Pilot E95S, both with Diamine Weeping Willow, so that's kind of what you can see throughout. But so when I think about this year and pens and ink and the hobby and cost and FOMO and everything else, what do I want it to look like? What does it mean to me, etc.? So I kind of broke it up into those 4 points. I think there may be one or two more as well. Like I did stuff about like wish lists and stuff at the end. But that's kind of how it works in my brain. And even the first page doesn't, well, it's the point. I just didn't write the point. But the overall point for me is that it's about community and pen friendship over penmanship. And if I start down here, you know, I wish I could be the type of healthy person that went, I just embrace mistakes and it's totally fine and da-da-da. I can't. I wish I could. I can't. And so I kind of was like, what's another version of that can still have the same sentiment, but I don't know, still be a little bit hard on myself maybe. And I came up with mistakes are meh, but like that's okay. And there's a very Australian saying that it's just like, she'll be all right. Like, you're not saying it shouldn't matter, but, you know, like you still got 2 arms and a heartbeat, you'll be fine. And I think trying to use this journal and it not be all cohesive and not be super aesthetic is a way to try and do that. I have, you know, I can like berate myself if I've make mistakes when I'm writing things like I've been doing. I haven't done a video on it actually. I've been kind of exploring, even that's a mistake, been exploring some different ways to talk through my pens, like really think about how they are as a collection. And there was one that I know I made multiple mistakes on, like there, and I've crossed it out. And I used to be like, oh, I have to rip out that page or stick it together or whatever. And it's like, well, no, actually, I can just keep it there. So that's what I'm trying to think about, not get sucked into that I don't have incredible aesthetic and incredible range and all of those things. It's actually about my love of pens and my love of ink and the joy that creative outlet gives me, and the way writing can help connect with people. But also in terms of YouTube more specifically, or Instagram, or just social media as a umbrella, this community is, yeah, it's pretty incredible. And as I was saying, so I actually spent time with myself, and I wrote this over the weekend, and then this morning I was watching Simone's latest video, and it was the snippets from her desk, and she just started off talking about, I mean, some stuff that's happening in America with ICE and Renee Good, and you know, like there was a vulnerability to her doing that, and it's one I think she should be proud of. And I think that's why I was like, maybe I should just film this today, because I know I'm getting to it. I promised that I'd written some things in here that like I actually want to do, and I actually want to connect more in. So the 3 things that I really want to do this year, the first one maybe is like, might look the strangest, but I've mentioned a pen friend on here a couple of times. When I first asked her, she said, don't use her name, just say H. So H, and probably 2 years ago now, she sent me the most incredible package. I think I actually mentioned it in my first video back. And at the time I asked her for her address, so I could try and send her something back or even write a letter, and she didn't respond to that bit, unless she didn't respond. And when I kind of stepped away from all of this, this community, I just kind of left that Instagram be. And when I like kind of logged back in, we used to kind of like send, like she'd send me some like really funny like gifts and stuff, and there was some there, and she'd happened to send one like a week before I logged back in, and so I liked it and I just wrote a comment. But I kind of felt a bit like, you know, when you get that twinge in your stomach afterwards of like, I should have just acknowledged that I'd been absent a little bit, and I might never be someone who can provide crazy amounts of samples and happy mail and everything else, but I would like to acknowledge that, and at minimum ask for her address again so I can write her a letter, and just say thank you. I did say thank you at the time, but you know what I mean. The second one is so Shauna, or Serial Nana on YouTube, who is possibly my favourite, to be honest, fountain pen YouTuber, I reckon. Look, it can shop and change, but at the moment, definitely, I don't know, she's just very real. I feel like we'd have a similar sense of humour. I've learned stuff from her, but yeah, she's got a really good vibe through the screen. And again, everything's gonna be a couple of years ago, right? She had sent me some ink and she wrote me a letter, and I looked back through my messages and I can see that I was like asking for her address to write a letter back. And then my life kind of blew up and everything else, and I never wrote back. Well, that's not true, actually. I did write a letter and I never sent it. And then, like, the final day I was moving out of my place and I was, like, getting some last bits and pieces, whether it was the final day or not, and I, like, found the letter that I had written and not sent, and just got very angry with myself and had to throw it out and da-da-da. But as I've started, I would watch videos from time to time when I was kind of disconnected, but since coming back, like, I've just been, it's her backlog that I've wanted to go through. So I just wrote number 2, right back to Shauna, finally. I don't know how to put, like, links to other people's YouTubes and stuff, but I think she's awesome and you should check her out. And then the other day she was swatching something. She's American, I don't know where from, but lives in England. And she was talking about Robert Oster, who's an Australian ink maker. And she was like, oh, this one's Robert Oster or Oster. And I was like, I was like yelling at my phone. I was like, no, let the English accent idiom win. It is definitely an Oster. Like, he's from New South Wales, I think. Yeah, Van Diemen's is Tassie. But yes, I would like to write back to her. And then connected to that is I've been, where are they? There, hang on. I've been playing with trying to make some pen pouches. I made this one for my daughter. And I need to improve in that one for myself. I had one actually that I had for myself, but just orange juice got spilt all over it. And, you know, I put my medicine in my orange juice, my sand, my Crohn's, and then just connected to when it was made, and it just needed to go. But I do like having kind of like fabric ones. And I kind of thought this could be a nice, like, mindful activity to do at night or in front of the TV. And I would really like to make a pen pouch for Shauna, like, to go with that letter as a, so sorry for the delay. And I also really want to make one for Jane from JP Pen and Ink, who's probably my first, like, Australian pen friend. And also I think is just a lovely person. It's funny talking about these people like you've never met them in real life, right? But I think that'll still be a couple months away because I want to get better. Like, that's not of a quality, I think, that I would want to gift to someone or just give. So I'll keep practicing and trying, and then when I feel like it's at a point, I'll do that. So that's 3 things. And this is what I mean. I wasn't sure if I was going to post this or not because I wanted to make it really honest and vulnerable with myself, and even talking through it, I feel a bit nervous. But next was, okay, thinking about this channel and what I want it to be. The first one is, I've just said, plan to show my face even just once. Makes me super nervous, but would like to get to a point of being confident to be able to do that. We shall see. I've also just said plan and schedule ? And I just kind of, as a reminder to myself, girl, remember you have ADHD and 2 young kids and you work full time, and life is life, and life is hard and messy and also great. And this is not going to be something that I'm a full-time content creator. I like da-da-da. So try and, like, not to overburden myself. Get some videos out, maybe schedule them, maybe don't. It's okay. I think I've mentioned before, like, when I tried to do 30 inks 30 days and the stress I would put on myself, and I go, no, you know what? Doing a puzzle or Lego on the floor with my kid, even if they would have actually wanted to sit in front of the TV, that's no, like, it's okay. This is not my livelihood. It's something fun. So maybe plan, maybe don't, leave it as is. The last thing is actually just an idea that I've kind of had for a while and I would love to do. Like, I know people do different, like, Swatch With Me series. I don't actually know if it's possible, but I'd love to work out like I call it like Swatch and Wine, and then I wrote in brackets and wine, like with an H, like a way to somehow, like, set up, I don't know, like a Zoom and record it, and we both sit there swatching and drinking wine and gas bagging or talking about inks. I don't know, I just think it could be fun, and I just like the title, Swatch and Wine. But I guess it also ties into the penmanship stuff and the showing my face and the vulnerability, but I just think it could be a really cool idea. Oh, and because I'm sarcastic, I just said. In terms of the time difference, I'm happy to take on the burden of day drinking if need be. But yeah, I don't know, if you think that's a good idea and want to like think about the techie side of it, let me know. I wish you could just message people on YouTube, like maybe message me on Instagram. I just think it could be really fun. Because I'm in a new, it still seems to be working. So the next bit was like the point, pause, that's kind of those ones, then love. And I've just said, what do I love about this? The things that I love ink swatching. It is the only form of meditation I've ever able to consistently do. It makes me feel creative. It makes me feel calm. It makes me feel quiet. And I love it. And I love embracing the nerd of it. I find it ink super interesting. So do it. And you know what? I'm not going to have an influx of new ink, but then looking at different colors and stuff is fun. I did, a little while ago, I did a little series of like color theory, and I effing loved it. But because I was kind of more focused on, but am I getting likes? Am I getting this? And the videos weren't really liked, to be honest. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I won't do that again and I won't keep going. But I look back on it now and go, I loved learning about color in that way, and that's the point. This one more of a reminder to myself that I love journaling, but also that it's okay to come and go from it as a practice. I used to journal incessantly, and now I come and go, and that's okay. But just as a reminder, and I love using my pens in that way. And that I also love creativity and creating with myself in videos and with my kiddos. My daughter is obsessed with learning about pens at the moment and ink, and I haven't edited yet, but she gave me a bunch of inks to make, and I've done it and tried them, and it was so much fun. But I also love trying to draw cars with my son, or we sometimes try and build these very complicated garages with Lego and Magna-Tiles, and as he gets older, I think he would love to okay, mate, let's create a plan for it and stuff. And there are other ways to use this hobby in my everyday, but being creative with them is something I very much love, and I wanted in general, and I wanted to just note that in terms of how it relates to pens and ink as well. Learn. There's not much on here because I feel so nervous about it. Look, this down here makes sense. Embrace the nerd, share the experience. I gifted a pen the other day, someone at my work. It was a cheap pen, but she was interested, and I've actually formed a friendship around it now. So just a reminder, it's probably more this one up here. I used to go to the Melbourne Pen Posse, which is once a month in the CBD, and it's a real assortment of people, and I really enjoyed it. Even if I wasn't anxious on the whole tram ride there, I really liked it, and I really want to get back into it. It's on the 31st of January, it's the first one this year. I've put it in my joint calendar with my partner, and I was like, Sarah's putting this in here so she can't let social anxiety win. I really, really loved it. I learnt so much. So it's not just the penmanship. I put it in here because I would love learning about, these are all the pens I need to wash, but I love learning about this stuff. And I am in a situation now where I look after my kids 50% of the time, and it's on a kind of schedule, and there are going to be occasions where I have a weekend to myself, and this could be such an incredible thing to do. I just feel really anxious about it. So I put that one in there. I think I've just got two more. I was like, quick video, no such thing. Just thinking about the money of this hobby, and again, because my maturity level is what it is in terms of Hoover, I had to label it, from what's the movie? Show me the money. And I've just said, so in terms of my things to remember, okay to remember that like FOMO happens and it's real. Just it's okay. We don't want to I don't want to put myself in a situation. There is a consumerist aspect to this hobby that I want to be really aware of. And if I can, I would love to purchase secondhand. I think that would be a nice way to try and have an environmental impact. I don't know if that works. I've said as well, really planning to try and have an overseas trip to Japan this year. So just remember that, like savings goals, yes, they don't give you the immediate dopamine release, but they are important. And I'm lucky in the sense that like my family, when it's someone's birthday, instead of we all get, we don't all spend $20 or $30 each. We kind of pool it together and get that person something they really want. And I would really, really like this year. It's not till June, but I would love to, for whatever that be, whether it contributes or goes towards, I would like to purchase something from an Aussie business. And the two that I'm thinking of is either So and So, because I absolutely did a December overwhelm middle of the night ink purchase from there, just samples a month ago, let's say 2 months ago. And I love that she has like a blog attached to it. She has these beautiful pen trays, which might not be something, a birthday present might not cover, but it could be part of it. And then I also, like, even if it was a pen, then I associate it like with my family and things like that. And if not So and So, there's an Australian pen maker, Platypus Pens, and he does 3D printed pen bodies, and I saw them at the Melbourne Pen Show, and there's one called the Quokka, after the Quokka, and it's like a pocket pen, which I would love to have in my collection one day. So that's kind of what I was thinking there. And then finally, that like wish lists are fun and they can just stay in the imagination. It's okay to make, carts and stuff, but then I don't need to like get disappointed if it doesn't happen. And then if I was just thinking about my wishes at the moment, there's probably 4. The first one is I wonder if I'll ever be able to save enough to get my first ever Esterbrook, and I just wrote underneath it, why am I drawn to the, what is it called, the Nouveau blue? But I really am. And look, you might be sitting here going, like in Australia, so an Esterbrook's like $300, and you might go, that is not a lot of money when it comes to pens, but I don't want this hobby to be a financial burden for me. Money does matter, cost of living, single parent, but I would love to maybe one day be able to save up enough to get one, because they just look like such beautiful pens, and like the little niblet that they released. And I just wanted to comment that for a long time now, I've always wanted to own at least one pen from the Pilot Custom series with the Falcon or the FA nib. I've written with one once or twice at a Melbourne Pen Posse meetup, and I just loved it. And I mean, imagine if I could get one secondhand in Japan, but that could just be incredible. And I have gone through, I think, 3 Mahjong A1s. I love retractable as well. So I just wrote underneath, and a VP or Decimo while I'm at it, because it's a wish list. Underneath here, I just said, as a wish, will Birmingham Pen Company inks, will they ever ship internationally again? Before I got into the hobby years ago, people of the Fountain Pen Australia group organised like a bulk international shipping and split inks and stuff. They don't do international shipping, haven't for a long time. I have been lucky enough to receive some samples over time from different pen friends, and every one of their inks I just absolutely love. I just said she dreams about Pennsylvania Fieldstone. I think that's that may have been one of the first inks that made me really fall in love with exploring ink. But that sample is long gone. But it's wishing, right? It's the imagination. So will they, won't they? Who knows? Maybe they open up a Melbourne pop-up store. Let's do it. And then I've lastly just said daydreams of a bygone era. I love the vintage pens I have. I mean, I started with my little Dinky, And if I was ever able to add to my vintage pen collection, I would love to add one of the vintage Pilot Elites with the striped cap. Oh, gorgeous. Well, I just went, ooh, and I like did a little shoulder thing, but I've actually written Chef's Kiss, or a Schaefer Targa, and I've just said, I think just all the vintage pocket pens really, because I love them, and I have small hands, but they're just, yeah, a pocket pen in general, but I do love my vintage, like some of my vintage pens. I say some of, like I have this massive collection, I don't. But I love and that there's some real memories tied to them as well. And I wonder if there's a way to find, I actually have a Parker pen of my dad's. When I first got into the hobby, he was like, hang on a second, and rifled through his office, and he came out with I think it's just a Parker Jotter, but I tried to fix it as this massive split. I'd love to save up and be able to buy him one again. He uses a Lamy Safari now when he signs things, and he only ever really wants kind of the dark ink colors because it's just for signing things or editing like contracts and documents and stuff. But I would love to do a bit more research on the one he got me, or even ask my grandma, because he thinks he got it as a present for university. So I want to do a little bit more digging around that, and if I could find another vintage version of one that works to give to him would be amazing. And he turns, it's a big birthday this year for him, he turns 70, but that's a bit of a watch this space. I need to work that out a bit, and I say all of that just realising that he watches my videos. So jokes, Dad, none of that was true. But yes, that's it. That's my kind of thoughts for 2026, the hobby, the YouTube, what this community is. Yeah, I felt like weirdly nervous, like especially about like the pouches that I want to do and like going to the pen posse meetup, but no regrets filming this. I hope, oh, what I was going to say, I hope this makes sense. It actually doesn't matter if it makes sense. If I have a hope for what this video could do for you, it would be if you were having thoughts about what your kind of engagement or relationship is with these as a hobby, right, and what that looks like. It could maybe give you some kind of headings to think about it, and let's not get angry with ourselves or disappointed with ourselves, but really just enjoy it and connect. And yet again, I forgot my tea, but oh, it's still hot enough, that's okay. Yeah, that's that'll be me for today. As I said, I wasn't actually planning on filming this one, so it might just pop up on a random day. And I hope we can continue hanging out together and find some cool inks. But yes, if you have like a thought for your year and what you want your year to be with pens, I really do love reading everything that you guys have to say. So let me know, and yeah, I'd love to hear and learn about it.